Hel- Hello, Miss Golden Girl here. Oh, we're going to have some fun tonight. Some fun tonight. Come on in and listen as I share my experience of my working vacation in Skagway, Alaska. The season is coming up. It's and it looks like it's going to be a good season this year in Skagway, Alaska, the Alaska cruises. It's really interesting. In the winter, those cruise ships, they go to the Caribbeans. And then when spring, summer in Alaska, they come to Alaska. And I mean, you will not believe in Skagway, Alaska, sometimes there is 10,000 guests coming off the cruise ship on a particular day. I started going to Alaska in 2005. That was my first working vacation in Skagway, Alaska. I got me a job at Westmark Inn in Skagway, Alaska. I found that job out on coolworks.com website. I was trying to take a welcome in. Thank you for joining me. Oh, we're going to have a fun night tonight. I want to probably do this for the next few weeks. I know a lot of people are going to be cruising to Alaska this season. Oh, yes, especially since it's opened back up from the pandemic. So I went to Alaska from 2005. I did, let's see, I probably did about what, maybe 7 seasons in Alaska. The last time I did a working vacation there was in 2014. I did 2 seasons in Anchorage. I went to Skagway, and then I ended up getting the job the 1 year in Anchorage. So I went to Anchorage that season. I didn't complete the season in Skagway. But Skagway is a beautiful port. Look, my background, that's one of the NCL ships. Sometimes it can be 6 ships in port at Skagway on certain days. When I was going, the busy days were Wednesday, Thursday, that the cruise ships came in. And Skagway is in the southeastern part of Alaska. I like to say it's in that tail that's close to the state of Washington. Several times I took the ferry from Washington to Skagway, Alaska. Usually I flew into Juneau, and then either out of Juneau, I would take the Alaskan highways. Not the highways, it was really the waterways, I should say. I would take the ferry from Juneau to Skagway. Sometime I even took the plane, this little small plane, may seat about 6 people from Juneau to Skagway. And usually I flew wherever I was flying from, I would fly into Seattle and then have to get a plane from Seattle to Juneau. And then either I take a small plane out of Juneau. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for coming in, joining me this evening. I'm going to be, oh, hi, Butterroll. I'm going to try to be better about the comments. I get to talking and I forget. But this evening I'm talking about my working vacations in Skagway, Alaska. The tour season for cruising is going to be starting in May. So I was sharing how I would get to Skagway. It's not an easy way to get to Skagway because you cannot, let's say from Juneau, you cannot drive to Skagway. It only could be by the waterways or by air to get there. You can come in some ways and then drive, but you got to go through Canada and all of that. And there is no road that leads into Juneau. only way to get in Juneau is by air or by the waterway. So it was really exciting, really exciting. When I took the ferry, got on the ferry in Washington, and then took the ferry to Skagway one year. And it would be interesting. People would have, their boats tied up to their houses. And so when when they would go visit a neighbor, they had to take their boat. Oh, that was so exciting to me, so interesting. But we're going to have a good time this evening. I'm probably just going to be on about 30 minutes. This is something I'm going to be doing for the next few weeks. So I'm not going to make it overwhelming. But this week, as an intro into sharing my stories of working in Skagway, Alaska, I got a video that I want to share with you. So I'm going to share that now. Hi, Jamal. Thank you for joining. Thank you. I'm going to try to be a lot better with the comments this evening. Butter roll, thank you. Happy Sunday. Happy Resurrection Sunday to everyone. Yeah, it's a background. It's a background, Jamal. Yes. I'm finally, can use my pictures. I started collecting all of this content in 2005. And so I am so happy to be able to have a platform to be able to use it on. So, yes, Skagway, Alaska. I describe Skagway is an adult playground because all the adults come off those cruise ships and they are there in the town of Skagway. From there in Skagway, there's a lot of tourist attractions that they'll go on. They'll do the train, and that'll take them up. It's a beautiful train. I'll show some pictures of that one week. Then they rent cars and they drive up the Alaska Highway. They go up to Emerald Lake. Emerald Lake is this lake. It's green. It's green. And so, yes, Jamal, I started going in 2005. I did working vacations from 2005 to 2015 for 10 years. What I would do is I would go places that I wanted to visit. So, say for instance, in Skagway, I work for Westmark Hotel. I'm going to do this video of it, and then I'll talk a little bit about it. And then while I was there, I earned me some money, and then I would do excursion. So I took an early retirement in 2003, January 2003, and I just wanted to go travel and see the world. Well, see the United States. See the United States. And so I would look for working vacations, and I would look for places that usually supplied housing. So I did I think I said about 7 seasons. I have to figure it out before I come, because it was 1 or 2 years that I didn't go, but I did do it for 10 years and went some other places. All right, I'm going to yes, it was a lot of fun, butter roll. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about that turkey. I cooked a ham for Easter dinner, Resurrection Sunday. So I did a ham, but I didn't do a lot because I'm trying to lose weight, y'all. I'm down 25 plus pounds on my way to my 50-pound goal. Well, hello. Thank you for coming in. All right, I'm going to share this video now. This is my video working for Westmark Hotel. All right. Oh, I guess I got to go get it. Just bear with me if you will, please. see here. I'm getting it. Hello. Thank you for joining. Oh, thank you for joining. Mom of 4 boys. Yes, we're going to have some fun. I'm talking about my working vacation experience in Skagway, Alaska. All right, here's the video. I'm going to share that right now. Yes, this is me working for Westmark Hotel. And Westmark is a subsidiary of Holland American. I was the night auditor there. I worked from 12 a.m. to 8 p.m. It was quite an experience. I did this during my working vacations. I did working vacations from 2005 to 2015. 10 years. I traveled around the United States, found different locations that I wanted to go to, and I would work. I'm going to take this down. Just give me a moment here. Get it down. See here. I'm sorry. It's give me a moment here to get this down. Oh, there it is. Removed from studio. There, I got it. You know, I'm getting acclimated to StreamYard, but I really like it. Because it's user friendly. It is really user friendly. Thank you, moms. Oh, who else we got in here with it? Oh, Pandy's here. Oh, thank you for joining me. Yes, I'm just sharing about my working vacations in Skagway, Alaska, since the cruise season is going to be coming upon us. It is from May to September. And when you see in my picture here, the snow will be on those mountains until probably July. When you get there in May, it'll be more snow. And I think I took that picture that year. It was in June. It would have been more snow than that. I'm going to try to be better with my comments. But yes, so as I was sharing about the Port of Skagway, Skagway is a little small town. They say that it is year-round. When I was going, they gave the statistics of 800 residents year-round. Well, let's say they would say 800, but there would only be about 300 and something that would stay there year-round. And the work season is seasonal. There's very few year-round jobs there in Skagway. If you worked at the market, that could be year-round. So the working season in Skagway is April to about September, October maybe. And the residents that live there year-round, they'll work 2 and 3 jobs. They'll work 2 and 3 jobs to earn their income, and then they'll draw unemployment. So certain parts of Alaska, it's a given that you are going to be drawing unemployment some of the year. But as I was sharing in Skagway, some of the things to see, I like Port of Skagway better than Juneau. I feel like in Juneau, claustrophobic. And I'm going to share some of that in the weeks coming up. But in Skagway, the port is away from the town and you walk into the town. It's not all that far to walk. They have buses also, a shuttle that will come down to the harbor and pick up the guests. Oh, it's just interesting. When the cruise ship come in and you see the streetcars coming down, you see vans coming down to take the guests on. Oh, hi, Bill. Hi, did you make it to Australia? Oh, welcome in. I'm trying to be better with these comments. So yes, this is so exciting for me to be able to share. Oh, I'm gonna have a good time. I'm gonna have a good time talking about Alaska, Skagway for sure, because that's where I worked. So the port, as I was saying, is very user friendly to well, thank you, Bill. Thank you. Oh, one day I want to go to Sydney, Australia. I met so many people in Skagway, Alaska from Australia. They really will tour um, Alaska. It was just amazing being in Alaska, how many people from out of other countries would come. Oh, they just love Alaska. People would come from also from New Zealand. And then I would try to determine the accent because it's similar. It is similar. Welcome. Thank you for joining in. This is the evening that I am talking about Skagway, Alaska. Yes, one of the popular ports. If you take a cruise to Alaska, most of, well, let me just say a lot of them. A lot of them that Skagway will be one of the ports. My first year going in 2005, they estimated there was 900, close to 1 million people that came through that port that summer. 2005 was a good season for Alaska. So was 2006, 2007. Those years, it got up over 1 million people. Can you imagine that? 1 million people coming into this little small town during this tourist season from May to September. Now, I like to say that the better for weather-wise is July. I took a cruise in 2019. And it's really interesting how I started going there. I was trying to do a cruise in 2005, but it didn't work out. So I went online and I searched for seasonal work in Alaska, and I found 2 sites. I found Skagway, Westmark hotels, and then also Prince's. Now, Prince's, they were more in the wilderness, a lot of the lodges. So, with working for a Westmark hotel, the hotel was about people doing land tours. So, here's the way it worked: they would either have done their land tour, they stayed a night at Westmark Hotel, and then they get on the cruise ship the next day. Or either they're coming off the cruise ship and then they spend the night at the hotel, Westmark Hotel. It's at 3rd and Spring. So if you go to Alaska and you stop in Skagway, stop by and look at that hotel. They have updated. Well, it's still got that Alaska type atmosphere. You know, you're in the frontier land. But they have put some murals out on the building and everything. So yes, it was quite an experience. But as I was sharing with you, there's a lot of things to do in Skagway, Alaska that doesn't cost you any money. If you don't want to pay for an excursion, you can walk around the town. It depending, like now, if you come in August, you'll have an opportunity to see the salmon. They're spunning, And if you stop as soon as when you walk up in town, right there by the railroad tracks, there's a pond there. And you look in that pond, you can see all these salmons just trying to make it upstream, and they're starting to die off, you know. So, but that was exciting for me. and and you can do some excursion if you want to go bear sighting. Yes, I saw a few bears. I recruited my I got two of my three children to come and work a season in Alaska, and so my daughter, the year that I ended up going to Anchorage to work, she ended up taking over the night audit job for me that year. And so she saw a bear, and she has a picture of it. I'm gonna have to see if one of the Sunday nights that I can put that picture of the bear up. The bear was on the trash can right outside of the hotel. Oh my goodness, I am so glad, you know, being a night auditor. I'm on duty from 12 a.m. to 8 a.m. But one thing about it though, in Alaska, in Skagway, during this season, it's about 20 hours of daylight and say 4 hours of darkness, and it's not real dark. So at 12 a.m. when I would go to work, it would be just like dawn in a way, you know. Hello, thank you for stopping in. I'm having so much fun talking about my working vacation in Skagway, Alaska, giving out some points about Port Skagway. And so that time of the year in August, the salmon will start. You can see them. Also, some people come in, they go fishing, they go whale watching. I did. I saw some whales. I saw some whales. One of my excursion, my birthday is in July. So I took the catamaran out of Skagway. And so it's an all day trip. You leave about 7 o'clock in the morning. And so the catamaran is smaller. So we saw, I said, God bless me. This was my first year there. And I went and I did that. And I saw whales. Oh, it was awesome. It was just awesome. And then that catamaran took us over in Juneau. And then we had the opportunity to go to the glacier there. We had some free time, so you know, I had lunch. So that was one of my working excursion. I took the train on one of my excursions that first year. I took the bus up to Whitehorse, Canada. That's real close to Skagway. Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining. So it was just a very exciting time. And I know you can hear it in my voice. I finally get to share my content that I had collected. I wanted to write, and maybe I will one day. I have material to write 3 books. But Port Skagway is a very busy port. As I said again, it is an adult playground. Oh, please, when you go, do not walk in the street, okay? There are locals that need to get around. People, they would come off the cruise ship and just walk in the middle of the street. And you can't, if you're driving, I try not to drive down Broadway because part of my duties, when I was going off duties, I had to make my bank run and go to the bank. And so don't want to hit anybody, you know. Oh, the Bonanza, which is owned by Westmark. That's a popular establishment there, and that's on Broadway. The Red Onion is another popular establishment there in Skagway. Now, if you want to rent a car, I suggest you make your make your reservation right now, because I tell you, a lot of people, instead of paying the price, especially if you're traveling with a family, and then if you do one of those excursions, with the bus, then you paying maybe $100 for each person. Well, a lot of people rent cars, and then they can get 4 or 5 family members in the car. So if you're stopping off in Skagway, I suggest that you get your rental car reservation in now, because you can't walk up that day thinking that you're going to get a car. That's just not going to happen. That's not. One season being there, I always worked full time for Westmark Hotel, but then I would pick up part-time work. And so one year I worked for Avis. At the time, I'm assuming maybe it's still there. Avis was the car rental, and there's not a lot of car rentals. Let me just share something else. There is no overnight delivery, no FedEx, no UPS to Skagway, Alaska. So don't forget your medication. Put your medication in your carry-on bag, because hello, thank you for coming in. Being at the hotel, some guests forget their medication and they think they're going to overnight it. It doesn't work like that, because what happens is it'll be over. It'll get to Juneau, and then it has to come from Juneau by air. The local newspaper had to come in from Juneau, and then some at the hotel. Well, where's the newspaper? There is no daily newspaper here in Skagway. So when you going to Alaska, you going to the frontier. It's different. It is different. So I'm just sharing and giving a few tips to help you. But yes, it's beautiful. I love Skagway. As again, I was saying, it is a more friendly port to me than Juneau. So, and I never went to Sitka. I never got to Sitka. I went to Whittier. I drove to Whittier when I was in Anchorage. Drove down there. But Port Skagway, it's awesome. And then another thing, there is no drugstore in Skagway. There's no lights either. There is no lights either in Skagway. No fast food places. So any medication, I would tell the go to the market, aisle 4. So please pack whatever you may need over-the-counter medications, because in Skagway, you're not going to find any. In Juneau, they've got some drugstores, but not in Skagway. And usually people that are going to Skagway, you wouldn't go to Sitka. If Sitka is part of your itinerary, you don't stop in Skagway. I'm trying to think what I was trying to tell you about some free activities in Skagway. You can walk down to the cemetery. That's the famous cemetery. So, and it's got a beautiful waterfall in that cemetery. When you get into town, you can go to the visitor center. Thank you, everyone, for stopping in. You can do that. So, but I'm going to be coming, I think, about 10 p.m. on Sunday night for the next few weeks, talking about Skagway, Alaska. But I enjoyed myself. I really enjoyed myself. I'm trying to think what other tours that I did, but I just would walk around the town. I was always looking up, because it was just my first year, just so beautiful, just beautiful. I'd just be looking up in Skagway, and you see the mountains, and it's so green. Everything is so green. And there's a lot of shops there. down Broadway. When you come in, you're coming in at Second. That's where they're going to have a lot of the thanks, Pandy. I appreciate you stopping in. Oh, there's Coach Mary Mike. How are you, Coach? Thank you for stopping in. I'm sharing my working vacation stories. The season is coming upon us for Skagway, Alaska. Well, for Alaska, the cruise ships. And as I was sharing, those cruise ships, they're down in the Caribbean in the wintertime, and they come up to Alaska in the summer. And I'm telling you, on Broadway, there is so many diamond stores. Oh, you can buy all the diamonds that you want. That was so interesting. So yeah, on Broadway, if you're interested in buying jewelry, you can. But it's just interesting how the cruise ships, they know what to do. They're in the Caribbeans. It is. Working vacations were awesome. I did it for 10 years. I took an early retirement January 2003. So it's been 20 years that I was retired. And I did that because I wanted to travel throughout the United States, and I wanted to see different sites, and I wanted to stay a while in different places. And so it took me a while to be able to see all that I wanted to see in Alaska. I went there for about 9 years out of the 10. I'm going to say 7 in Skagway, and I did 2 seasons in Anchorage, Alaska. That's urbanized, so that's a big thing. Oh, I want to mention people coming to Skagway want to see the Northern Lights. And if you come in May, the chance of you seeing Northern Lights is not good. The Northern Lights usually come out, it's going to be around August, maybe end of July, August. And in Skagway, they're mostly green. Up as you go further north, you'll get some more colors in them. Also, I was sharing in Skagway, you get about 20 hours of daylight during the summer season and 4 hours of night, and it's dawn. You know, it's not real dark. It's not real dark. I used to get up and walk down to the dock to see the cruise ships come in. Now on your schedule, it'll say, maybe about 7 o'clock you're coming in, but they're usually sitting out there at 4 a.m. Alaska time. Alaska time is 4 hours different between Eastern time. So Alaska have their own time zone, just to give you an idea. And the Eastern time, say I'm on Eastern time right now, so it's 10:34. So Alaska would be 4 hours behind that. So it would actually be 6:34 in Alaska right now. Hello. Thank you for coming in. This is, I'm sharing about my working vacations. I worked in Skagway, Alaska. So I'm going to be coming on at 10 p.m. on Sunday night, just staying for about 30 minutes just to share. I thought, this is such an exciting time that I can share my work and vacation stories and help others that are preparing to cruise to Alaska. So what else I want to say about Skagway tonight? But I was sharing, I have to try to pull it up and see how many people coming off the cruise ship that they expect to come in. Also, say for instance, if they have 1 million coming off the cruise ships for the season is from May to September. It's rainy and it gets cold in Skagway starting September. So when you see those cheap prices, there's a reason that the cruises are cheaper during those times of the year. Like May is cheap, September is cheaper than, so May is maybe the cheapest, and then September, the more expensive time was July. July is a good time to cruise to Alaska. The chance of you having good weather. August is probably just in there next, is a good time to cruise. So there's a reason why the prices are different at the different times, May and September, because the weather is not as good. But bring your raincoat. Bring a raincoat. Definitely bring a raincoat, a windbreaker. Because that's about 60 degrees. It depends. The first year I went in 2005, it was hot. And if you're doing a land tour, the hotels in Skagway, they do not have any air conditioning. So I'm just a heads up for you. Usually you don't need it. But one thing, you're closer to the sun being in Skagway, being in Alaska. So if you're coming from Florida, it still may seem cold to you, but being closer to the sun, 60 degrees will feel a little better. There is only one gas station in Alaska, so if you're driving, you want to make sure, if you're renting a car, you want to make sure that, and I would suggest, I guess, maybe paying for the gas so you don't have to run around and look for a gas station, because then it's not going to be open real late if you're coming back, after 5 or 6, that so I would just pay for that gas. When you rent a car, they'll ask you if you want to pay for the gas. I suggest pay for the gas. So, and just be very careful driving the Alaska highway. Just be very careful doing that. Look out for the bears. You can see bears there, So, and if you see a cub, just be careful, because mother is somewhere close by. Okay. They would tell me, because me getting up, walking down to the dock like 4:00 in the morning, 5, because I wanted to see the cruise ship actually come in. I just love to see the cruise ship come in and sit out there. So, but yes. But I'm going to say good night. And thank you for joining in. I'll be back next Sunday night at 10 p.m. sharing more about my working vacation in Alaska. I worked for Westmark Hotel. Westmark has hotel in Juneau, Skagway, Whitehorse. I have to look and see where there are other locations. I'll have that information for you. It's last time I worked there was 2014. It's really something. A couple weeks ago, I called the hotel and I talked to Jim Sager. He's the general manager. He's still there. He's still there. He was there in 2005. He hired me. It was really interesting. My interview was over the phone. It was over the phone. And so I had the first interview with Jim, and then he wanted me to meet with him, have a conversation with him and the comptroller. So it was really something. May 2005, on Mother's Day, I had the interview. And so, it's like, okay. And I said, is that it? Oh, you're welcome, Coach and Coach Mary. And so he said, yeah, we're not going to fly you here to interview you. So that was 2005 was my first time getting a job over the phone interviews. But now the one thing I was a little hesitant about, you get a contract when you are doing these seasonal jobs. And I made sure before I purchased my airline ticket that I had my contract. I always wanted my contract in hand before I purchased my airline ticket, because I wasn't getting reimbursed for my airline ticket. I think that first year they gave me half on it. But after that, they never, they didn't reimburse me. Now, some people's contract included them getting reimbursed for their travel costs. But on all my working vacations, I never purchased that airline ticket until I got my contract in hand. And then I was praying over it, because especially 2005 was my first time doing this. So, it's like, wow, is this really going to happen? Am I going to get there? Am I going to have a job? And so am I going to have housing? But it worked out real well. The housing in Skagway, Alaska at that time was very, very rustic. But as I was sharing, I talked with Jim, the general manager, a couple weeks ago, and I asked him first time, did you get some better housing? And so he did. He told me that, they're not using those trailers anymore. And so the housing was that. And one thing with me, with my position as the night auditor, because I work nights, I was able to have a room to myself. And at that time, I paid $7 a day. They would take it out of my paycheck for my housing, which that wasn't bad. That wasn't bad. That included, they had laundry facility in the trailers. They had a common area which had a refrigerator in it, but I ended up purchasing my own refrigerator because I don't like my food in there because I don't want nobody messing with my food. Don't touch my food. I'm very protective of my food. So I ended up getting a refrigerator to go in my room. I seemed like I was every year buying a refrigerator because I didn't have anywhere to store the refrigerator. So that I just chucked it up to that was part of my cost of doing this type of work. Some things I bought every year. Well, thank you everyone for joining in, and stop back next Sunday, 10 p.m. I'm going to come on live again and share more about Skagway, Alaska. I'm so glad that because I've been wanting to share this content out. And what an opportune time is to be talking about Skagway just before people are going to start to cruise there. I can give you some, firsthand information because I went there and I worked, for 7 seasons. I worked in Skagway, Alaska for the cruise ship seasonal. And one thing about it, you could get plenty work during that time because that was their working season. Say, for instance, they have 800 people live there year round. Really, only 300 probably stay year round. And they need, 2,000 to 2,500 workers for a season. So it was a good opportunity. I always thought this would be something good, and which a lot of young people did it. It would be more young people doing this type of experience than older people. But I was blessed. My first season there was some ladies close around my age. I met, yes, Coach Mary, it makes a lot of sense. Hey, I don't want to, because the ticket wasn't cheap going to Alaska, So it seems like let me see, how can I handle this? I got a troll in here, huh? I'm gonna see if I can block it. Sorry about that, y'all. I'm sorry. I guess that's where I need a moderator, but I'm sorry. I didn't. It was getting worse and worse with those comments, but yes, but it was an exciting time. So I'm going to be sharing. Skagway, Alaska. So I'm going to play this. And NCL, they always had beautiful cruise ships. As you can see the color, I'm going to move. I'm going to move so you can see. You see that ship? You see that cruise ship? Oh, they used to have the most colorful ships. NCL, Norwegian Cruise Line. And so when I worked at the market as part-time, a lot of workers off the cruise ship, they come in there and they shop and they're trying to get food, and then you'll see some of the employees that if once you come off your cruise ship, they gather together there at the park, because there's a park as soon as you're walking into town. And so they would get a little chance to rest and interact with the co-workers there without being on the cruise ship and having to take care of the guests on the cruise ship. So I wanted to share this. When I first got there, everybody used to come off the cruise ship and go to the library to try to get internet. So when the cruise ships was in, everything would slow down, because the towers weren't that good when I first went there. When I first went to Skagway, I didn't have a cell phone then, I don't think. If I had a cell phone, it was with Sprint, and it didn't work. It didn't work in Skagway. It didn't work because eventually I changed my service to Verizon, and Verizon had towers in Skagway. So yeah. But all right, everyone, thank you for stopping in. I will be back next Sunday at 10 p.m. sharing more about Skagway, Alaska. I worked there for 7 seasons, going May to yes, it is a beautiful background, and I got more pictures I'm going to share. I would just go down to the water and just sit and just watch the cruise ship come in. I used to go and watch the people come off the ferries, the cars coming off. And I love people, and so I just be talking and asking questions. People would, hello, Embarker Nation. Thank you for stopping in. But I would meet people and talk to them. A lot of people come over and they will buy a motorcycle, and they will then, tour the Alaskan highway, and then they will, and it's more foreigners that do this, not so much the U.S. citizens. They will then sell that motorcycle and then go on back home. They would tour for about a month, just driving up the Alaska highway. Very touristy, very, very an eventful sight to see. All right, then I will see you. I'm going to play my video one more time so you can see where I worked at Westmark Hotel, which is a subsidiary of Holland America. I earned a cruise ship several times on Holland America. The closest I got to taking it is that, of course, it's standby. And so I was trying to do this cruise and of course, I had to pick a cruise that wasn't during the work season. I went to Alaska May to September. So I was trying to do this cruise where I was going to cruise out of New York and I was going up into Maine. But I wanted them to, I wanted to be guaranteed a month out. And I had made my hotel reservations and everything. I was going to be going to Montreal too. And so I couldn't get that. So I canceled everything. And so do you know a week before. And that's the reason why I was trying to schedule a month out, because one thing with these complimentary cruise ships is that you got to get to the port where you're going out of. And so if you got to arrange for airfare, you've got to, at least 14 days to get a good price. One thing I was going to do, I was going to go to Windsor, Ontario, and I was going to take the train from Windsor and go up to Montreal. But so all the years that I worked at Westmark Hotel, I never was able to take advantage of the complimentary cruise. So let me share this video again for those that are just coming in. But I hope you can hear the excitement in my voice. Traveling is my passion. This is me working for Westmark Hotel, subsidiary of Holland American. I was the night auditor there, worked from 8 midnight until 8 a.m. So I saw the guests. They would be up early getting ready to go on their land trip or getting ready to go on the cruise ship. So Westmark Hotel, our business were the guests that were staying over after doing a land tour or staying over after coming off the cruise ship. And Holland America was the cruise ship that, tied to Westmark Hotel. So all of our guests came off the Holland American ships. I worked in Skagway. First time I went to Skagway. Oh, let me take this down so we can see. The first time I worked at Skagway, I went in 2005. So I did, then I went back in 2006, 7, 8. And in 2008, I ended up getting a job in Anchorage. So I went to Anchorage. And worked that summer. I had started out in Skagway. And then 2009, I came back. And I think it was 2011, I went to Anchorage. I didn't go to Skagway. I worked in Anchorage. 2014 was the last season that I was in Skagway, Embarkation, that I worked. And then I actually did a cruise in 2019. It took me that long to get my cruise. I was trying to cruise in 2005. It didn't work out. And so then I went online and looking for seasonal work in Alaska. And so I used coolworks.com. I have those sites up on my page. And so go to my page and I've got some of the sites of some of the places where I've worked. All right, then. I'll see you next Sunday at 10 p.m. I'll be talking about Skagway, Alaska. Take care, everyone. Oh, in 2012. Okay, in 2012, I went to, because 2011, I was in Anchorage, and then I left Anchorage and went to Hawaii for 7 months. And so April 2012, I went to Nantucket. I went to Nantucket and worked there for the summer. All right. Good night, everyone. Take care. Thank you again for joining in. See you next Sunday at 10 p.m. God bless. Enjoy the rest of your Resurrection Sunday. Bye.